Hey, but how y'all doing, everybody? How y'all doing, YouTube? What's going on with y'all? This week on Manga Review, Monday, we're going to talk about a lot. We're going to talk about how Aoma's the traitor, and we're going to talk about what Asta does in Black Clover, and what Megumi is doing. That nigga Megumi, my bruh, man. After reading this past chapter, this nigga Megumi like that, bro. And I don't know what the fourth one we're gonna use. I don't know what the fourth one we're gonna do. We might do Kaiju number 8 since we did that last week. And I accidentally skipped Ayashimon, which I wasn't trying to last week. But, you know, shit happens, you know. We're gonna get started on this manga reviews. And we're gonna start the manga reviews out with My Hero, since there was no One Piece this week. My Hero was actually a pretty good chapter. As we can see, the chapter starts off with Dabi and All For One having a conversation. So Dabi is asking him, like, so aren't we kind of screwed if you, like, one of your friends get captured or not or whatnot? So All For One is like, what do you do with, like, a cheap ass lighter? The friend is like a cheap ass lighter. If it works, cool. Cool, I'd be excited. Cool, if that cheap ass, hey, just imagine if your cheap ass lighter lights a blunt. You'd be like, cool, it did its job. But if the lighter don't work, you're not tripping, because it's a cheap ass lighter. You ain't expect shit out of it. That's how All For One is taking this. So he's like, you know what? Fuck it. If it fizzles out, it fizzles out, man. So we all find out that Deku finds out that Aoma is the traitor. Aoma's parents try to run away with Aoma. Aoma's thinking back, because he was quirkless at first. He had no powers or anything. So he's thinking, damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Papa. I didn't mean to reveal our secret like that, but I had to do it to him. I had to do that. His mother and his father, they were both born of rich families. So his mother and father are rich as shit. So when they had a child that had no quirk like Aoma, they was searching around trying to find a way for him to get a quirk so he can be like everyone else. Because being quirkless, you get bullied a lot. You get all this and that. His parents really feared that Aoma was going to be different. That being different is scary. Aoma didn't really care to be different, but he cared because his parents cared. And you know, the parents, whatever the parents think, reflect on the child. When they went to find someone that gave out quirks for free, and ended up being All For One. So All For One gave Aoma a quirk, but the quirk was a poor fit with his body. That's why he always having stomach aches and shit. That's why this nigga not really moving and shit. This nigga was like, oh shit, this shit hurt, nigga. As long as he's making his family proud, he didn't really care until All For One was telling him that All Might was going to be a teacher at UA. And Aoma had no choice but to go to UA. He had to do everything that All For One told him to do. And now Aoma is thinking, when Deku left that note saying that he was quirkless, he felt like he was in utter despair. He felt he was real depressed, because here goes Deku fighting and doing everything when he started out quirkless, and he's fighting All For One, and here comes this quirkless nigga working for All For One. So he's like, what the fuck? So Aoma tries to do some last attempt laser shot out his dick or belly, whatever it is. But you know, Deku always, well, it wasn't even Deku that stopped the beam. It was actually Invisible Girl that stopped the beam. She refracts light. That is why she's invisible, because she can refract light. So Invisible Girl is trying to chime in. So she's like, we could have been killed time after time, and now Japan's like really fucked up. So what were you doing when you was hanging with us, when you was sleeping in the same bedrooms as us, when you was in the same dorm rooms as us? Like, what the fuck were you doing, nigga? And as you can see, we get to see a little bit of Invisible Girl's face. And this is a hard time for everybody, because this is Deku really thought this nigga was his friend. So did Invisible Girl. And we've never seen Invisible Girl's face like this. Aoma's parents try to run away again, and that's when Deku catches them with his whip quirk. He was like, we're going to end this right now, so stop trying to hurt us. Like, stop now before it hurts even more later. This is where Aoma and his parents all get captured. All Might is like, I get the gist of everything. So, All For One gave this boy a quirk and he used him. So, and the principal of UA is telling all the kids to leave, but they're like, fuck no. And shit, as you can see, Todoroki, this nigga look like he about to burn this nigga. He about to go full Endeavor on this nigga. So everyone's questioning Aoma is like, what the fuck? So this whole time, there's no way you could have been the traitor or anything. Like, this whole time, this is what I like about Bakugo. He literally has the best character development in all of My Hero. So Bakugo is the only one who's like, oh, so a quirkless nigga is in UA. Sounds like someone else we know. So the father tries to explain that that All For One is going to kill them, and like if they don't follow like his plans and everything. And he said that All For One showed him a demonstration what happens to people, that he would kill niggas if they don't listen to him. So like, hey, I gave you this quirk, young boy. You better do what the fuck I say before I kill your parents, nigga. Aoma used to talking to Deku, and he was saying when he read, like, everything could have been on me. I'm just like this super bad villain. I am terrible. I'm all this. When I saw that you were quirkless just like me, it made me cry. So Deku was like, nigga, if you thought that you were a villain, why would you try to save Bakugo and Tokiyami? And why would you leave that cheese note way back when? Deku was like, I should have known that was a SOS for help when you said you knew. And then Deku was like, he knows someone else who he fought earlier, who was Lady Nagant, who got manipulated by All For One and was also given a quirk. But she didn't sell her whole soul. Her spirit was just crushed. And Bakugo was thinking like, hold up. Are you about to do what I think you're about to do, nigga? If nothing else, we can choose how to enter this fight. That's when Deku is like, Aoma, you can still be a hero. And the chapter ends right there. Overall, I'm gonna give this chapter a 9 out of 10. This chapter was like really powerful. It kind of dug into your heart a little bit, you know? And even though there wasn't really a lot of action, it was just a lot of plot points going through. The next one is Black Clover. But yeah, Black Clover was an interesting chapter. It wasn't, I was about to say, the panels and shit, they were vicious. Everything else, there wasn't a lot of story progression in the last 2 chapters, to be honest. But we're going to get on to Black Clover. Let's see what Asta does. And plus, there wasn't any Black Clover last week. So the chapter starts off with Lucifero's, and he's about to manifest the devil. The strongest devil that's coming from hell. He's about to manifest. So we see Asta all the way, like, far away from the battlefield, and that the rest of the Black Bulls are saying that they're counting on him. And then we see Asta teleport away from the battlefield, because when we last saw Asta, he was still in the thick of it. And then we saw Asta take out Yami's sword. So Asta is asking Libe, which is the devil that possesses him, He asked that if he can cut something like that. And Libe was like, yes, we can, and we're going to do that shit. So Asta's thinking about rescuing Captain Yami. And Libe is thinking about avenging Lucida. And remember, the 30-minute interval is up. It takes them 30 minutes to charge the power up so they can use Devil Union. And they were saying that they weren't really chosen by mana since neither one of them can use mana. They're going to make their own choices from here on out. And that's when they use their attack, Demon Slasher, the Infinite Slash, Equinox. Cut the demon that's bringing Lucifero back in half. So when they cut the demon in half, you see two figures right here. These two figures being Yami and Vengeance. If Yami and Vengeance wasn't saved, Lucifero was going to be here and wreak havoc on everything. So Asta explains that Demon Slasher chooses what to cut. It's a katana that doesn't cut anything that it wants to protect. Yami and the second in command, they was like, you really did it this time, Asta. Saying that Asta actually surpassed both his mentors. And that's where the chapter ends. It was a very short chapter. Very, very short chapter. Overall, I'm going to give this chapter a 7 out of 10. No, scratch that. I'm going to give this chapter an 8 out of 10. It was a good chapter. It was nice, short, to the point. Asta displaying his abilities. And Asta actually explains what happens in the end. It was very cliche, but it was actually a good chapter. That's what not Demon Slayer. That's what Black Clover really is. It's not bad, but it's not all the way good either. We're going over to Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen was one of my favorite chapters this week. I might be biased. This is one of my favorite chapters that came out this week. Megumi was doing his thing, brother. He was doing his thing. So the chapter starts off where the last chapter left off, with an eye coming down at Megumi and the thing exploding. So it may have exploded on Megumi, and then we find out that this guy, Idri Hazanoki, he's the one that's making the explosions. You know, Megumi, he stayed ready, so he went inside a building before the explosion goes off. And then you see Megumi over here, he's about to dodge Shorty's hair, because she was attacking him, and I guess her hair resembles like a scorpion-like attack. So he slams her on the ground. He's like, "Hey, bitch, you had enough?" So the nigga that threw the eye bomb earlier, he comes back down. He jumps down off the roof. So he throws something at Megumi, and then he was like, "Hold up, is this gasoline?" And then the nigga, he plucked his tooth out and just threw it at this nigga. And the tooth explodes. So I'm guessing he has some exploding ability. So whenever he takes like a body part out, he just throws it at somebody and that shit explodes. And Reggie asked him, is like, "Hey, did you kill this nigga yet?" He was like, "Nah, he ducked off in the room just like you did." And he was like, "Did you wear him down?" So Megumi is telling Shorty like, "Hey, do you understand? They will not protect your ass. You was just cheeks to their ass. You was just legs and cheeks." So he's like, "If you understand that, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of here." And that's when you find out that she stabbed him. So he's like, "Bitch, you need to stop this shit." I'm like, "Why are you continuing? Stop this shit. Stop it. Get some help, please." She asked Megumi to say that he would protect her, and that Megumi likes her. And Megumi is like, "Oh, so you're one of those bitches, huh? You're one of those bitches who care more about words than actions." And he told her to get the fuck up out of his face again. So the nigga that Megumi defeated in the last chapter, he threw that nigga all the way out the building. So this nigga's climbed up all the way to wherever floor they're in. And that's when the little thing that tells the players of the Colon game what happens and whatever rules have been changed. And that's when he tells everyone that a new rule is applied. Rule 10, players may transfer a number of points of their choosing to another player. That's when Megumi realizes that Yuji actually did his job, convinced one of the two players that had 100 points to change the rule. So Megumi was like, "You know what? Fuck this shit." He went and attacked Cuz, threw that nigga off the building again, and then Megumi took out like his weapon, started beating Cuz all the way down to the ground. This nigga's in the air just like whacking the shit out of his head. Whack, whack, whack. Like That's wild as shit. So they reach all the way in the ground, and this nigga's like, how the fucking dare you? And then next thing you see is like something whacked in the middle of his head, and you see blood on the ground. So Megumi is like, what the hell am I doing? We'll need more points in the future, but there's no longer any need for Sumiki to participate in the killing. Don't lose your head. Trust in the others, like trusting the team that he got around him. So he's like, hey, you don't need these guys' points. All you need to do is survive. And that's when the guy told him he got 5 points for killing Cuz. And that's where Reggie and the exploding nigga comes down. He's like, damn. So that nigga got killed without even using his curse technique. So that's when Megumi was thinking, maybe I should use domain expansion. Or maybe not, because my domain expansion is not really complete, so I can't really seal anyone out the domain. He can't really seal anyone inside his domain expansion like a regular domain expansion is supposed to do. So if they were to escape and then come back to him, that would be like real trouble for him, since he would have lost a lot of cursed energy and he would have lost a lot of stamina. Cuz throws like his teeth at Megumi again, and then Megumi is saved by some random nigga calling them like, hey, why is you jumping this person? Why are you doing that? Like, you know what I call y'all bitch ass niggas? Y'all niggas some cowards, bitch ass niggas, ass cheeks niggas. He was like, hey, your cowardly attacks don't even work on me. And that's what he said is 0 damage. I guess his name is Fumihiko Takaba. I guess he's like a little comedian or something. But the action-packed chapter ends right here. So overall, I'm going to give this chapter a 10 out of 10. We get to see Megumi curve these bitches. Like, Megumi just straight curved that bitch. That's some real nigga shit right there. And this nigga, like, had the mental to think, like, hey, let me kill this bitch ass nigga real quick. Let me fuck this nigga in the mouth real quick. End this nigga life and fuck these bitch ass niggas up real quick. That's why I'm gonna give this joint a 10 out of 10. That shit was fire. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you could follow my Twitch as well, all under the same name, I would really appreciate that. But thank you all for watching. Until next time, peace.